I'm first. I'll take Reagan. I'll take Taylor. I'll take Lexi. I'll take Drew. I'll take Belle. I'll take Bo. I'll take Dell. I'll take Kelly. I'll take Cam. Like, but at least he's got bucks. Oh no, I don't want her. No, she doesn't run. We'll lose. You can have her. All right, I'll take her. Fine.
My entire childhood, I was picked last, and with good reason. I did not like to move. I would race home from school, change into my play clothes, go to my neighbor's house, and play on her son's Atari, Pitfall, Pac-Man, Missile Command, and eat chocodiles and pet their dog. I found comfort and I felt loved and safe with all those creature comforts. And I just didn't think moving was a good thing. I hated it. I didn't realize that all those comforts were eating away at my self-esteem. I was silencing my loneliness and insecurity with distractions. I still did into my adulthood. The distractions changed, but the effects were still the same. I felt empty inside, and I was trying to fill that void from the outside. Fast forward to 7 years ago, when one of my kids needed to do some off-season training for sports, and that's when everything turned around. I started going to the gym with them, and oh my gosh, the first day was a disaster. I was over 200 pounds at the time. I wandered into the highest intensity HIIT class that they offered, and I was so embarrassed that I didn't want to turn around and leave, so I stayed. One of the trainers walking by saw me through the window and came in and said, "Are you okay? Do you want a water break?" Because they were concerned for my health. Finished the class, but it was quite terrible. I had a hard time breathing and I was red as a beet. My inability to work out was the wake-up call I needed. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired all the time and never feeling like moving. I couldn't continue on that trajectory of being unhealthy. That was really the start of when I started to become physically fit and realizing that it was tied to mental fitness. I went to the gym every day, and by keeping this promise to myself, I started realizing that I do care about myself and I am important. I honestly wasn't even gonna join the gym in the first place that day because my kid just needed it. It was like an afterthought that I joined, and then I said, oh my gosh, I'm doing this for me now. And that's when it started to turn over time, over years. It didn't happen right away. Building up those reps, when you first start, you can barely move and you're embarrassed and you feel self-conscious and you're possibly the worst one in the class, which I was all of those things. And then I started getting into it and just being committed and just keep going. And then I started liking it. I'd have a good day and then I'd have 3 bad days and then it would be less and less. And now it's part of life. I don't even think about it. I started seeing myself as someone who goes to the gym, who eats healthy, someone who works out. And that slowly shifted my mindset. Now I prioritize my health and mental fitness and realized how connected they are. A friend of mine runs the local police academy. And another friend said, I'm thinking of becoming a cop. So I said, I'll go to the conditioning training with you. I go every year anyway, just for fun. We run, we do calisthenics, we do sit-ups, we do push-ups, and it's really hard. And I like it, I look forward to it. I dread it and I fear it a little bit, but I go and I feel so accomplished being able to hang in there with the 20-year-olds. So this year I went and I did the 1.5 mile run in under 10 minutes on average, which for me is a miracle. I've never done that time before and it felt so good accomplishing that. And that happens to be the 20 to 29-year-old bracket. So it felt amazing accomplishing that. I'm 54, by the way. Right before our run, the sergeant yelled out, "Who are you doing this for?" Me. I did everything for everybody else all those years and never did things for myself. And now there are so many things that I'd like to do for myself. And it just shows self-love. And doing these hard things even shows more love. So that was a revelation because I always thought you had to be, pamper yourself, get a manicure, go on vacation. No, doing hard stuff that you really don't want to do at the time, and maybe it feels terrible at the time, shows self-love. Because I'm healthier now than I've ever been, and it feels fantastic. I was a gamer back in the 80s. Pitfall, Pac-Man, Missile Command, Space Invaders. They were fun. They're addicting. They feel good. It feels great to get to the next level. And you can bring yourself to the next level even on a better game, which is life. So from myself to yourself, thank you for joining me on this journey. Now get out there and play. No matter what, I'll always choose me.